Hello everyone, this is Carly and thank you so much for joining me in another episode of Crafting with Class. This year's Anna Griffin Create 7 had some amazing projects, and I know some of you had your heart set on the box card die, but unfortunately it is not available outside of the event. But no worries, because today I have some alternatives for that box card. So this is the guilty party right here. So this is what we made the box card for, Slimline cards and a Griffin size, and these are the dies that are not available, as I mentioned, outside of the event. So no worries, because I will show you how to make your own, no dies necessary. So Anna Griffin makes 9x4 size slimline cards, and so this box is created to fit that size. And today I have these three to share with you: an A7, an A2, and her slimline size of 9x4. Now, I chose these three sizes to recreate because these are the ones that I use most often. You're going to see how really simple this box card is to make, and you don't need the dies. It's nice to have, but you don't need it. So as long as you have pretty things to decorate it with, you will be good to go, and it's okay that you don't have this die set. Don't cry. Alright, let's start with the Slimline, the original one that inspired all my alternative versions. You will need 2 sheets of cardstock to make this. So, starting with the first sheet is 9 1/4 by 9. The second sheet will need to be 11 1/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. So these are the 2 size of pieces of paper you'll need, so grab your scoreboard and let's get to scoring. Starting with the 9-inch side, you want to score at 4 1/4 and 4 3/4. This gives you a 1/2 inch wide space for your card. Anna Griffin's is 3/4 inches, but if I were to follow her measurements, they would be like weird old, 5/8 of an inch and 7/8 of an inch, and I didn't want to deal with that. I wanted to make it as simple as possible for you. So it's a little tiny bit not as wide. Now on the 11 1/4 inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch, at 1 inch, at 10 1/4 inches, and then at 10 3/4 inches. And these measurements are a lot easier to find on most scoring tools, so this is why I made it these dimensions. Now on the 3 3/4 side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch and then at 1 inch. And this piece right here is going to create the pocket. Right, so let's go ahead and remove our scoring tool. We don't need it right now. So you're going to go ahead and cut out the 2 corners. Now you're going to see that I'm going to do angled cuts because that's what I'm used to doing anytime I make a box, but don't do this. You want to cut straight cuts for this one, because you want to make sure that those edges are boxed, right? They're perfect 90 degrees. So don't do what I did. It works out okay, but it's a lot easier when you don't, when you have straight edges. So just straight cuts on those score lines. Fold on all those score marks, score lines, and there you have the little pocket. So because I did angle cuts, I need to make sure that all the sides are 90 degrees. I added some wet adhesive because that's what I like to do when I assemble boxes, but it takes a minute to dry, so I always use these little clips as a little, as little finger substitutes to pinch and hold that closed. So I keep these in my desk handy, and they are handy for these types of things. All right, so now that those are there, this is how it will go inside of that little flap, just like that. And that is exactly how we created hers. So I'm going to remove the little clothespins that have done their job. Thank you so much. And now I can go ahead and add glue on those 3 sides. I will add it into the flap. I will go ahead and grab my bone folder and make sure that those are burnished while in there and secured to the cover. And that's it. Easy peasy. So all you'll need to do is wrap some ribbon, add all your pretties, and you'll have the same thing that we did at Kate. So I'm going to go ahead and grab her card, and as you can see, it fits in there just nicely. Even if it's just a 1/4 inch, not as wide. So put your ribbon and all your pretties and you're good to go. Now here's a smaller slimline size. This is the size I usually make. It is 7.5 by 3.5, I believe, and it fits in there just fine too. There's plenty of room. So whichever size you like to make slimline cards, they will work here. All right, let's go on to the A2 box card size. For this, you just need 1 sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock. So you want to cut this down so that it is 8 inches by 12 inches. On the 8-inch side, you want to score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 7 inches, and then 7.5 inches. The nice thing about the A2 size box is that you don't need 2 separate pieces. You can get the whole thing from one. All right, so we're going to turn it over to the 12-inch side, and we're going to score at 4.5, at 5, 9.5, and 10. All right, so now what we'll need to do is fold on all those score marks, all those creases. I'm not using my bone folder, but you can when you make a nice one. This is just the example for you. So there are those 4 score marks all folded. And so the smaller part is going to be your little box part, and just like that. And then the flap is going to come around. So super easy. So now we have their little 2 score marks along the side. So we have them on both sides. So go ahead and score those, or I should say fold on those score lines because I already did the scoring. So what you want to do is you want to cut along those score marks. So the one closest to the center, you want to cut all the way down to the last point of intersection. Now you'll see that I stopped 1 short. See, I should have kept going and cut 1 more, but I will fix this because I will realize, whoops, I need to cut 1 more down. So you want to cut all the way to the last point of intersection. Okay, so I'll cut off those sides. And then here's where I realize, oops. And so I will go ahead and cut the other little piece. See, I'm not perfect. And it's okay, because we can fix it. All right, now we are good to go. That's what it should look like. And there you can see how the little box part will collapse. So add your favorite glue. I'm just going to go ahead and use some score tape because that's quick and easy. And you want to put it on that very last tab on the edge. So I'll remove the liner, and then I'll go ahead and make sure that the edges are lined up to create a nice box. And I will go ahead and secure that, give it a good rub, and then I'll do the same thing to the other side, just like that. Making sure that those edges are lined up so it looks nice. And then of course I'll grab my bone folder and make sure those are burnished down really well. And it's just those 2 edges that have adhesive, so that's nice. So put your ribbon around all your pretties. I'm just grabbing a card I have from my stash, that's A2, and there you have it, perfect fit. And so now you have the box card version for an A2 4.25 by 5.5 size card. Yay! All right, let's move on to the A7 box card. For this, you also only need an 8 or one sheet of 12 by 12. So you're going to cut the first part to 7.5 by 11. And with the remaining part is what you'll get with the second part, this one right here. So that's the nice part. This is 4 by 9.5. So you can get both parts from one sheet of 12 by 12, which is awesome. All right, so starting with the 7, or nope, we're going to start with the 11-inch side. We're going to score 2 points. So at the 5 1/4 inch mark, and then at the 5 3/4. And that again gives us a 1/2 inch wide little gap for space for our card. So we can put stuff in it that's still bulky and everything, so no worries. Okay, so now the second part, I'm going to go ahead and put it with the 4-inch side at the top, and I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch and then at 1 inch. Okay, I'm going to rotate that so that the 9.5 inch side is at the top. So I'm going to score at 1.5, at 1, at 8.5, and then at 9. Okay, so this is going to make the pocket again. So I'm going to go ahead and fold on all the score lines. So 2 on each side, and then the 2 at the bottom. Okay, so with this, you want to cut those 2 corners. And again, you want to do straight cuts, not angle cuts. So nice and straight. And you want to cut out those little corners. So you'll see 4 little spaces there. All right, so now you know what to do. So box up those sides, put a little bit of glue if it comes out. There it goes. And so now we can go ahead and line them up, make sure they're nice, 90 degrees for that box. Use my trusty little clothespin to hold it for me. And then I will work on the other side. Grab my clothespin, but make sure you use the right size. I'm like, why is this not clipping? Dodo. All right, so line it up and then make sure it's the right side of the clothespin that's on there. Okay, now that it's exactly where I want it, I will let it set for a moment, and then you're going to go ahead and put glue on those sides. I'm going to bring in the cover. I think it's set enough, and so I can go ahead and add the glue to those 3 parts and then attach it to the inside. Now, another nice thing you could do with this when they're separated like this, or even when it's the full piece for the A2, is you can take, if you have a decorative border punch, and you can punch a nice border, so that would be, you know, right there at the top of that pocket, and that would look awesome too. All right, so there it is. This is the completed A7. So here is the photo easel card that we made at Create, and so the little edges of the stickers are getting stuck there, but no problem, it goes in there just fine. And even though this is a very bulky card because it has a lot of layers, as you can see, it fits in there just fine. And that sticker kept giving me problems, that little poinsettia sticker on the left. But as you can see, it works just great. So there is the A7 5x7 box card. All right, so here are the 3 box card alternatives that I created so that you don't feel left out and that you're able to make the same lovely box cards that we did at Create without dies necessary, but you can add your beautiful Anna Griffin pretties so that it is beautiful in the making. And here is the one from Create. And the other one. I really love this one. Well, thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you find it useful to create one of these box cards. I'll be back with the final Create video soon. I need to edit it down because it was really long. So I will be back with that soon. Until next time, here are a couple of videos if you want for more Creates. Until next time, bye.